This episode is sponsored in part by PTZ Optics. Why hire a camera operator when the control is in your hands? Visit ptzoptics.com for more information. And by NewTek, makers of the TriCaster TC1. Stun your viewers, not your accountant. Visit newtek.com for more information.
Welcome, everybody. It's Thursday night, and it's time for some game time. Hit it, Glenn.
Oh,
game time. No. Glenn, come on. That's your cue. You've been practicing all through. Come. All right.
Yeah, no, you
Let's
can't
wait.
trust
Let me
me
try it
with
again.
anything
Wait. We'll try it again. Hey, guys. Welcome to game time.
Game time.
There. Finally. Jeez. Slow today.
Good job, Glenn.
Kabobbled. All kabobbled.
Well, guys, I'm glad you're here. We've got a pretty good show for you tonight. Here, we got some gameplay. We've got our roaming reporter at the New York Comic-Con. We're going to touch base with him a little later. A lot of cool stuff. We want to talk about the new Super Mario Brothers movie that Glenn probably hasn't even watched the trailer for yet, but that's okay.
I have it in a bag, though. It's in a bag.
It's in a bag, so we're going to watch that, and we got a bunch of other stuff. Joining us, taking over for Wild Bill this week, we've got Wild Dan. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm on. Hi, everybody.
What do you play with GI? Are you playing with GI Joes?
Yeah, we got Storm
It's
Shadow
therapeutic.
and Snake
It's
Eye.
therapeutic.
There you go. See, he is playing with a GI Joes. Dan from Endless One Up. You guys can check him out over at youtube.com/endless One
No,
Up.
it's Dan from Earth. Dan
I
from
thought
Earth.
Bill looked awfully different.
I'm from Earth.
He's got hair and lots of it. And then we've got the person that is jealous. Well, actually, we're all jealous of her, those that are in the chat room, and some of us are going to wait till December.
Hey, baby.
She's sitting there with the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. She was hauling. How long did it take you to put together? I think you beat your record.
Well, okay, I did this in like 45 minutes, but I didn't put the riser together because I was like, I need to go like change my shirt. And
Yeah. No, but you got it together. I was pretty impressed because when it showed up, you thought it was going to be there like at 4 o'clock your time. It ended up being there like at 5.
I thought it was going to be here at like 3.
Yeah.
I mean, it had been out it had been out for delivery for like 11 hours. I'm like, dude, what is happening?
We've got a super chat here from Ezekiel. If somebody wants to read that, if not, I will gladly read it. It's just easier for somebody.
I'll read it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Is it up on the screen?
It is up on the screen. We'll put it up in just quite a second. It is there.
Hey everyone, Jade is back. She's the best ever.
That-
Aw.
Jade is back. Gonna have a party. Hey la, Jade is back.
She skipped the J panel. Paul says here in the chat room.
There. I'm very delayed today.
We got to
Sorry,
do
Jade.
this. He stopped it.
I did.
I had the switching going and everything. Come on, man. Endless was sitting there. He was bobbing. I was gonna.
I was.
We had it going on.
Disco lights and everything.
We want to say thanks if you guys are coming over here from Kongs or Us's stream. We really appreciate that. Kongs gave me a heads up. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to send everybody over to you. I'm doing a short stream, so appreciate everybody that's coming over."
Don't cross them streams. Don't want to cross the streams.
Don't cross the stream.
Oh
So
my gosh.
we want to get into a little bit. First off, let's get into a little bit of At Games news.
At Games news and notes.
And Glenn's like, "Wait, we're in October." So
No idea.
At Games, the big news we've got for At Games this week is that they posted here on Facebook that for Amazon's second Prime Early Access sale on October 11th through the 12th, and on At Games eStore October 11th through the 15th, they are doing a huge sale. So if you're on the fence about getting some of the At Games products, whether there are the mini pinball table that's out, some of the pinball tables themselves for the system or Jayde the actual At Games Legends Ultimate, you might be able to get some big. P-Dub says, "Bring the funk." Here comes the Kong raid. If you're in the process,
it works.
It worked. Kongs, I just gave you a shout out a little bit ago. Thank you again for sending everybody over. But if you're interested, guys, in At Games products, in fact, I purchased, I think on the last sale, I got the controller. I wanted to do a review of it because I know P-Dubs wasn't too thrilled with the controller, and I got the Core Max, and it's still sitting in a box over here. I haven't had time, and I keep getting more stuff for other things with broadcasting that I need to review that I haven't even touched yet. So that's where we're at. So check that out. And Jayde, are you trying to get another cabinet? Are you gonna get the Legends Ultimate?
Unlikely unless I find it for like dirt cheap, like
I know where you can get one. I know where you can get one.
Dirty deeds, and At Games does them cheap. Dirty deeds.
Glenn has.
That should be their theme song. I love it. That is a good song for them.
Glenn has one in his basement, don't you, Glenn?
No, well, I did. Now it's upstairs. It is upstairs. It survived. It was on an island of the flood. It didn't get wet.
That's because you adapted the Glenn boat to it, didn't you?
It's funny. My son was here right now. If my son was here right now, he'd be going, Dan, he'd be saying, Dad, you were almost crying. You said your life's over when the water came in. You said your life was over, and you were crying. Never happened.
Glenn was down there like Noah's Ark. He basically built an ark out of like his iArcade, and then he was like 2x2, 2x2.
That's right.
All my arcade machines get on.
You've never seen an old man like me lifting up objects and like throwing them up the stairs faster ever. I should have recorded that. That'd have been
It's like when you get
episode.
superhuman strength and lift the bus up under the baby.
Speaking of floods, anybody here in the community, do you live in Florida, and did anybody lose your cabinets or your arcade due to the flooding? I'm not making a joke of this. I'm serious. Like, I'm surprised I haven't seen major reports of people losing like their game rooms and stuff. I really hope that didn't happen because, like, Glenn, I know what you went through with that, and that hurricane that came through. I mean, people had like 6 to 8 feet of water.
Right.
Yeah.
And
a couple of friends are down there. We know Adam's down there, and of course, Angel's down there.
Adam was spared. Yep. And I think Angel was spared too.
Angel was spared.
Yeah. So I'm hoping most of the community was spared. Anybody know of anybody that lost their game room? Because I think
a Yankee fan or something like that would be okay.
I think there should be a coalition between all content creators to try to help somebody that lost their game room. Whether it's the companies, whatever, we all band together and try to help these people. I don't know. I was just thinking about that this week, and if there's something we can do as a community. I mean, Glenn, we rally behind you with Blue.
All of a sudden in the chat, like all these chats start coming up. Like, oh yeah, my game room was destroyed.
Yeah. Well, obviously we have to verify this. Come on now. So Wild Bill, he's MIA this week. He's actually he's calling in. Check him out.
Hey everyone, sorry I can't be with you tonight, but as you can see, I am in New York City at New York Comic Con. Hope to show you guys some great stuff throughout the show. I'll try to pop in from time to time and show some stuff off, but let's start real quick with a look at how big the showroom is here at New York Comic Con. Hang on. All right, hope you can hear me over the noise. Just check, oh my God, check this out. Look at this giant dragon from Dragon Ball Z. We got Piccolo in the back, we got Goku. Just look at how big this is. I mean, I can't even begin to show you how huge the showroom floor is. I'm gonna try to give you just a quick pan. I mean, look how far down it goes. Wow. There's everything here. So huge, so much to see. I am going to... There we go. I am going to be here all 4 days. So if you're coming to the con at any point this weekend, come up, say hi. Love to talk to you. But yeah, like I said, if I see anything else cool, I will pop in. I will show you guys what I see. And hey, be sure you enjoy game time. See you later.
All right, Bill, we appreciate it. We'll check in with you a little later on. And Moat in the chat room, he goes, hey, steal that for me. I mean, buy that. I mean, steal it, though.
That Dragon Ball Z stuff, man, really caught my attention. I was saying when he was talking to you guys, the last time I went to a Comic-Con was probably 1991. And, it was like 3 people, a small table, and a guy at the door. It was like nothing. And now it's this big, humongous thing. And I wish I was there now. That's really cool.
I wish I was there. I would have. Yep. This is something I might have drove up to with you. Maybe Glenn. Maybe next year we got to do this.
It's funny we could do that. It's funny when we was going to Hartford. I said, "Hey, Bill, you want to go with me? I got extra tickets. Come with me." I took him. He dumped me. He didn't take me there. Thanks, Bill.
So next year, I think we got to do that. Yeah,
so rude.
Endless, you're not far from there. You could probably go with us too.
Yeah, I could go there. I go to New York all the time.
So there you go. We could all
New York.
We could all
gotta
go.
meet up then. Since Bill dumped me, man, me you go. We go. Me and Dan.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Or Dan and I. You gotta speak properly.
Yeah, well, no, you don't. You shouldn't correct adults' grammar because if they haven't learned it at this point in their life, they don't want
my
to.
son does it all the time, dude.
Wolfino says Todd McFarlane's there. He's jelly.
Yeah, Todd makes some sweet action figures. I used to collect all the old school Spawn ones that aren't really worth anything.
I think I have a couple Spawn #1s. Actually, nice. I think I have 2 of them.
Okay,
but his artwork.
So I want to ask you guys something completely off topic from gaming, and anybody that's in the chat room. Okay, completely off topic. We were in a hurry tonight. My son had a playoff game. He's going to the championships on Monday.
Woohoo!
And we just grabbed the quick bite to eat. We rarely eat at McDonald's, but we stopped. Well, my wife stopped, and I was down here getting ready. Do you know they have adult Happy Meals now?
Oh, I thought it was Happy Endings.
Wait. With retro toys in them.
Oh, I'm disappointed now.
Wait. With retro toys in them. Remakes of the McDonald's toys from when you were a kid. Did you guys know that?
Yeah,
do
but
they
look
still
like
make the
you
little
dropped
M80s?
acid first and then played with those toys.
No, my wife got one and gave me the toy. It's like the bird thingy with the multiple eyes, and I left it in the bag and put it in the other room. Because those McDonald's ones that are like worth fortune down the road. But I think that was cool.
My McDonald's sold out of them really quickly.
Really?
That was sad. Yeah, on the very first day they were released, they sold out.
Yeah,
But
Matt Ashtray's like the Happy Meal toys. They look evil. I'm hoping they bring the Ghostbusters one back. That was probably the best that I remember. That and the Muppet Babies. You guys remember the Muppet Baby
the Muppet
toys?
Babies.
That was
my
really
favorite.
cool.
My favorite was the Transformers. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Critters and the fries that would transform. Oh, those were.
See,
like,
now
the
this is
coolest.
interesting. Jay's talking about Transformers and Steven's talking about Muppet Babies.
Listen.
What's going on
Yeah.
here?
Listen,
I love both of those things.
Listen, you tell
I
me,
didn't watch
Glenn.
the Muppet Babies.
You didn't watch the Muppet Babies?
I most
Don't
certainly
lie.
did not because Dungeons and Dragons were on, and that's where it was at.
What? They're both cool. You didn't watch
Oh my
Never.
goodness!
Never watched Muppet Babies. You know why? Because it's Muppet
Okay.
Babies for babies. No.
No,
my
it
son
was
is a bit older than
Oh
that.
my
My-
goodness!
I don't think my oldest brother watched Muppet Babies either. And they're both old.
Yep, I admit it. I'm old, but you know what? I wasn't watching Muppet Babies.
Even Adam, he
Well,
just
no, he
said,
was my brother. You're good.
just bought a Harvest McDonald's meal tonight. And the Mario 3 figures. I totally forgot about that, Wolfenose. You're 100% right.
He
Oh,
generally is.
Well, we know he's right. You're not. You're the
Yes.
one that's not always right.
No, we went up against the other, and he bested me. He took me out of the game on the Rexer show. He did.
Wait a second. You? Oh no, that was P Dubs.
Mhm.
I got rid of P Dubs for you. Remember, because P Dubs
Yep.
got me beat in the trivia.
Yep. I missed those shows. Those were actually pretty
Those
fun
those were
shows
good
to do.
Rexer shows. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to today's make or break. Let's see what you guys think about this. Did it make or did it break it?
Make or break.
On today's make or break,
Sega had Sonic. Nintendo had Mario. Sony decided to enter into the mascot game and created Crash Bandicoot. Crash Bandicoot was a major player in the game, went on to have multiple sequels, ended up on other platforms such as the Xbox. Is this a make or break for the PlayStation? You decide.
Hey, plumber boy, mustache man, your worst nightmare has arrived.
Pack up your stuff. I got a little surprise for you here.
Check it out. What do you think about that? We got real-time, 3D, lush organic environments. How's that make you feel, buddy?
Feel a little like your days are numbered?
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
You're hurting my elbow.
Is that Italian?
No, Bandicoot is an Australian name.
Everybody always says we hate on Atari or we hate on this, and I know they're only kind of joking. Hey, thanks for the new sub there for whoever's coming in here. We've got Kevin. Thanks for the sub. I've got it working, so no more throwing shade at me, Jade, with that video.
Wait a minute.
It was
Crash
cut in
Bandicoot
half.
Isn't an Atari game? I thought.
No, it was
Atari
Crash Band. Okay, make or break. Jade, make or break. Crash Bandicoot. Did Sony make or break it?
I would say that at the point that this game came out in the PlayStation timeline, I wouldn't say that like the console was necessarily stale at that time, but I would say it definitely made it because it was one of those games that came out. It was like a new style of platform, and it was really fun. And I think there was like some hype for it. At least, I mean, we were just kind of talking about this, but I felt hyped for it. Like I remember laughing at the commercials, and like I said, when I got it, like I just played the crap out of it. So I would say it's definitely a make. It definitely enhanced the Sony PlayStation experience.
Glenn,
it was really a good looking game as well.
Glenn, because I know Endless is going to say something very profound, so we're going to go with you first.
So I can't think of anything profound. Thanks, Steve.
No, you absolutely can't.
With that being said, a lot of people. You even mentioned before behind the scenes. Sony was like Sony's mascot. He really wasn't their mascot. They were using him as such.
They wanted him to be.
They did. But I think it made the system. It's one of those games that's definitely a classic game. It was a very fun game. People talked about it a lot, and he's got that look in his eye, like he's your friend. He could snap like any second. He's got that crazed look. He's like, I'm your buddy. He kills you. So I say make.
Okay. Endless. Mr. Dan, what do you think?
Okay, I got your profound message.
Give us the profound.
So, I think Crash Bandicoot is one of those games that I like because of those commercials, but I'm not a huge fan of any game after the very first one. So I think it's kind of like ran its course and jumped its course, and that's all it really does. And it's a running game, and there's so many on phones now that it doesn't have the same pizzazz anymore. So it's kind of sad. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't
wait.
I said profound, not disappointing.
But hold on. But it would go back and forth between like the running perspective and then you would have like platform perspective. Yep. Yeah. So
yeah, but I just
did have that. I mean, but I also really liked, I think the first two were the ones that I enjoyed the most.
Yeah, I liked the first one. It was a good polished game for the PS1. I just don't they still make it. I haven't bought it for the Switch. I haven't bought it for anything else because it feels like the same exact game from the very first time I played it. I don't know. I'm probably just being weird, but I don't like it.
Okay.
And I'm sticking to it.
So wait, what do you think though if Sony was trying to make this their mascot, and you guys in the chat tell me, because the biggest thing I was saying was what Glenn was saying a little bit ago. Glenn, why would you license this out to Microsoft? Why would you allow some of these other competitor platforms? You'd never seen Nintendo put Mario on PlayStation or even Xbox.
Philips CDI, perhaps?
I'm just saying. Am I right? I mean, why would you do that?
Money. Why else?
Yeah, but that's still not.
Money. Of course it's about money. But remember, Nintendo did Mario because it was Nintendo. It was their console. Atari had nothing because it was Atari.
No, it had Yar's Revenge.
I suppose he could be a mascot. But and Sega had Sonic, right? And Sony didn't have their own intellectual property like that, but Crash Bandicoot was kind of a hit. Again, the first game that came out was a hit, so they kind of just unofficially made it. Now, for anyone who knows 3DO, they did the same thing with Gex, which I love Gex.
Oh, yeah, Gex
is
is
Dynamics.
That's a great one.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I couldn't do
Dynamics.
make or break with that one, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait,
But
so
so anyway,
did Dan say if it made or break?
Well, I think it broke, but not because
I said I was trying to say he needs to say something profound, and he goes and lets me down. Dan!
It's not a game that I want to play again.
Oh, you're killing me.
I'm basing it off of the fact, like, oh, when I think of the console, is that the game I think of, and do I want to play it?
All right. So what would you say? What would you say is the mascot of Sony then?
Well, I actually, I don't really know if I kind of.
Wait.
The mascot of Sony is Twisted Metal.
Wait, you can think about that for a second. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this. We're trying to do a live show here, and look at this.
For Gran
She playing the game?
Turismo.
Like she's sitting here playing Marvel vs. Capcom. We're trying to do a show here. This is our co-host. She's sitting here playing. All right.
That's awesome.
On that note, listen here. We got some iArcade news, I think. So we're gonna. Jayde, continue playing because you're gonna do it anyway. So we'll be right back.
iArcade. News and notes.
All right, so the only iArcade news that I know, unless Glenn wants to add to it, we're going to let Jayde play for a little bit, is the fact that if you want to know all about iArcade, I recommend you go over and subscribe, if you haven't, to the iArcadians. Papa Brad's Gaming and some of the other guys that are over there under that watchful eye. This is I guess it's the official iArcade stream show. Papa Brad over there with the iArcadians and a bunch of your favorite content creators. I don't know. John promotes it. So. Yeah, John promotes it. So
officially unofficial.
Unofficial. Other than that, Glenn, is there anything for iArcade?
Is it a system to the regional
There's
manager?
a lot. I mean, a lot. But can I talk about it? No.
Oh my goodness. I might as well tell everybody just go because you're just
Can you
gonna
talk about it.
Come
in
on, Glenn.
reverse? Like if you said everything in reverse, could you tell us?
Wait, hang on. Yep, she's still playing.
reverse.
All
There
right,
it is.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot going on over there. I just can't talk about it.
Come on, Glenn. You know you want to tell us. Give us a little snippet. Just
Here,
something.
I'll talk for Glenn. I actually know the insights.
Okay, go ahead.
They're
Go ahead.
getting games ready to come out.
Okay, so they're getting. Okay, so let's do this. They're getting ready for games to come out. Is there anything else that they're going to bring out?
Stuff. Yes.
Well, any hardware? Are they bringing out any kind of hardware?
Maybe.
Stuff. You
They
guys
could
are
be
killing
USB
me here.
Based, I hear USB based. Can you not hear me?
We
Do
we-
I need to get in the
Can
microphone
I
like
just
this?
can I just say this?
Please,
while we're-
somebody
while
say
we're doing
something.
this? Look, I really think it would be so awesome if, and we all know that like this is likely not going to happen. However, I'm just saying it would be rad if iArcade made a Ultra Street Fighter 2, the new challengers. Because that's like a console version of it, right? So they could technically get that licensed, right? I think that would be sick.
Technically, Glenn, this comment's for you. I'm going to let you read that one there, so you can.
I was wondering why there was a hole in the Happy Meal.
Oh man, that was bad. See, that's what happens. That's what happens when we let Glenn answer questions like that. All right. On that note, hey, why don't you lead us into Mr. Dan? What's on deck today?
Well, did you hear that the Steam Deck dock came out, which is pretty fancy? You can go order it. It's $89 USD. That's not steak. That's dollars.
And one of our favorite games that everybody's been clamoring at that we're going to talk about later on. Dan, you show us how we can play it if we can't get our hands on a cabinet.
Or actually the better version of it. I'm sorry, everybody.
Okay.
Your feelings.
Let's take a look. Let's see if you're right.
What's up, everybody? It's Endless One Up. You're watching Game Time. But what are we going to talk about? And what is this thing? You know what this is. This is a Steam Deck, and I love it. Mwah. It tastes like lasagna. Mommy's best lasagna. Yeah. So, what game are we going to play on this today or talk about? If you're like, hey, I really wanted to buy Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I missed out. Well, guess what? Go buy yourself a Steam Deck, pick up Marvel vs. Capcom 3, go get yourself an arcade stick, and guess what? You're all set, because this thing plays at 60 frames per second with this bad boy attached, no hiccups. Heck, all you have to do is throw this into a cabinet, and you got yourself a whole freaking arcade. But yeah, that's what's on deck today. But get back to game time! Oh, and if you don't know what Marvel vs. Capcom... If you don't know what Capcom versus... If you don't know about Marvel vs. Capcom, then you're living under a rock. And say what's up to Patrick for me. Peace!
All right, so you were saying, Mr. Dan, that this was the better version. You're going to make a lot of people mad.
Well, there's a 3 after it, so doesn't that make it better? I mean, I think you could argue that point.
Maybe.
The company says that it's 3 times better than the first one.
So explain a little bit more. Explain a bit. You can't just say that, not explain.
No. What do you mean? Well, it's the 3rd version of the game, so if they haven't improved it 3 times, then they're failing in my mind. But I don't know. What do you think? Chat.
Once, twice,
I want to talk
3
about the Steam
times
Deck.
a
Steam
dock.
Oh,
yeah, see, he said dock. We're talking about the dock. Go get yourself a Steam
Steam
dock.
Why does your Steam Deck look so cool though?
Oh,
like how come
because,
yours looks so cool?
I have the Batman armored mode.
Nice.
engaged.
That does look kind of cool.
Yeah, so you can like, I'm gonna punch it, and it's still fine.
Don't
It's
don't break
gamer
it.
rage proof.
Yeah, you can throw it.
Rage quitting proof. Perfect.
Yes.
Wait, but the front of it though, isn't that like a wood grain on the front or something? I don't know. It looks really cool. I like that color.
Well, thanks. It's not real wood. It's fake. It's faux.
Oh, it's not carved out of like bamboo or something. Never mind.
No. No, I mean, I don't drive. I don't drive a Bentley.
Wait a second. Clinton, really? Now you come through and tell me this after I just bought the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet? You're telling me it was on sale for $8, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but I would need the Steam Deck. So, either way, I'm spending $600, right? Thanks,
Yeah,
Clinton.
either way.
Thanks. Appreciate you. There's always somebody in the chat room that's the bearer of bad news, right?
Where is it, Glenn?
I don't know.
Oh.
They're saying that they can't hear Endless, but I've got Endless turned up, and you guys can hear him, right? You're hearing him?
I can hear him.
Maybe they just don't want to hear what he's saying.
That's probably it. It's subconscious. Their mind has blocked out the tone of my voice. My wife does that. Man, have you been talking to my wife, chat? What the F?
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
I need Glenn's soundboard because I
know.
Yeah. Big Reese says he can hear you, so that's all that matters. Hey,
Oh.
and also I want to give a shout out to Big Reese. I watched your video today, bud. I thought it was really fair. I thought it was really good on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I thought it was really well done. So if you guys haven't checked it out and you want to check it out, check out Big Reese over there. Bill is really starting to get on my nerves. He's calling in again. Hang on. We gotta go check on Bill. Hang on.
Hey guys, it's me again. Hopefully you can hear me because it is crazy loud in here. Hope you guys are enjoying game time tonight. Just wanted to show off here. They've got a whole big area set up where you can play games. They've got computers set up. They got consoles set up. Let me just turn this around real quick and just give you guys a pan. You can see what's going on here. So check this out. They got row upon row of tables. Like I said, they got all kinds of different consoles. They got all kinds of different PC set up, so you can play all kinds of different stuff. They got gaming tournaments going on throughout the weekend. And yeah, it just looks really, really cool. And I just figured you guys might want to check that out. So that's it for now. Back to game time.
No, I won't yell.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Mr.
now?
Bill. You can. Well, don't yell.
Okay. Put it on me. Hold on.
All right. I'm gonna put it on you. Go ahead. There you go. Can they?
Did you hear it?
Do it again. Do it again.
You guys. Wait. Do it again. I hear
There's crickets in my mouth. Oh, they're a tasty snack.
All right.
I'm a snake, slithery snake. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. All right. So, Jayde, why don't you talk to us a little bit about Cyberpunk? There was some Cyberpunk news, and I know it's one of your favorite games. They working on a sequel?
Yeah, the one that works.
That's what it's called.
How dare you, Glenn? That's it. Somebody
Cyberpunk 2, the one that works. It's produced by Mel Brooks. I'm sorry.
So they just announced that they're doing a sequel for Cyberpunk, and obviously it's supposed to be based in like the same metaverse, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. And it's supposed to be really good. The cool thing is that they should be using the same engine, so I think the dev time will be shorter, and I'm sure that they won't run into as many problems. And then, what was the other thing that I gave you?
It was just a screenshot, but I couldn't really see what was on it, so I didn't really grab it.
And The Witcher, and they're doing like a Witcher, like 3 Witcher spin-offs or something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think they're doing like 3 of them.
It scares me the fact that you say that it's less dev time, because I read that in here. Didn't we go down this road last time with Cyberpunk and they said...
No, but look, the thing is that the engine that they used to develop it on was like only part of the engine from The Witcher originally. So they were like basically using a new engine and developing it on that, like a hybrid engine, if you will. So they ran into like a lot of like weird issues with it. And a long time ago.
We noticed that part.
Tie Glenn up. Time up. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I'm excited about that. I really like Cyberpunk, and I'm super excited about the DLC that's coming out. I think it's going to be really, really fun because I've literally beat every part of that game.
So here's the question: when is it going to be releasing? Did they give you any kind of time, or did they say any kind of time? There, finally, he's muzzled up
for the new one.
Yes. Any release date and time? And
no,
price?
I just know that the DLC is coming out next year. Probably like the first quarter of next year, I think, allegedly. But I mean, I would say it's got to be at least like 3 years minimum,
or 2077.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not that far off. I'm sorry.
No, Cyberpunk was good, and I didn't really have any problems with it running it on the Xbox or the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5, but I know people had problems on PS4 and the Series X.
And the sequel is going to have multiplayer.
Oh, so that'll be sweet.
Yeah, that'll be really cool, actually. Because that was something that they had originally discussed being in the first one eventually, and I think that is kind of off the table.
It's always good when they make a promise of like online multiplayer and they actually have it when it's announced on the product, right?
Yeah, that is nice.
So that's what Wolfenose wants to know. Will there be Wi-Fi in the Cyberpunk sequel? If I had that little beam where the guy's like, I see what you're doing there.
You.
Yeah, you. Okay. There's also been, so everybody heard about Sony raising their prices or going to raise the prices. It's up in the air over here in the US, but over the UK and stuff, the prices on the PS5 were going up. Microsoft came out and said, "Hey, no, we're not going to raise the prices. We're actually going to slash the prices." Right, Jayde? $60 off.
Yeah, dude.
They're calling it the
Series
GRS
S
version. Prices go down.
The Series S is seriously like one of the best console purchases you could make for the money, like bang for your buck. I mean, it is.
It's better than buying a personal computer. You can pretty much turn it into that.
Yeah, it basically is. It's basically like a lower end gaming machine. I mean, but it's capable. It can do ray tracing. It's got. I mean, it's all hardware, software optimized. So I mean, you're going to get the most out of it. And I can tell you from having one that games look good on it. Like it's a noticeable difference from last gen, and they look good. It can't do what a Series X can, like at that level, but it still does everything really well. And most of the games now that Series X can run in 60 FPS, so can the Series S. So I mean, for $240, it is a steal.
Hey Jay, can you answer that Cyberpunk question for Big Reese, please? I have it pulled up on your screen there, just so you see it.
Will it be online multiplayer at launch? I mean, they didn't mention specifically whether it would be at launch or not, so I can't give you a good answer there.
So it's not like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I guess that's what they're hinting at. They're trying to be funny. Do
I look blonde right now? Because that's how I feel.
Sorry, I thought you catch up. They're trying to have fun in there. That's all right.
I know they're having fun, but I just had an idea. It would be really cool if that game became an MMO, because the world's big enough, and if you could have it just like GTA does. But that's what it wanted to be originally. Like there's like a subway system that kind of is not really functional, but you can enter it and it'll transport you somewhere. But that was supposed to be like
monorail.
You were supposed to be able to get on it and ride around the city, and that
right.
And you can kind of still like hop on.
There's mods for it on the PC. There's mods for it on the PC where you can do that. But yeah, I agree totally, Dan. I mean, like I was kind of sad when they said that it was off the table for the first one, because that whole world is so cool. You could totally do that.
So Glenn, is yours in the bag still?
Never owned it. The
really?
Console the newest console I have is a 360.
You're not going to play it on that.
I gave up on any new consoles. I don't buy into this DRM download for 5 hours content. I won't engage it.
Do you not like rock and roll music? That was supposed to be. Okay, it was just supposed to be like a ploy because you're getting older and you're like, I don't like these newfangled things.
Right.
I love rock and roll. I think Johnny Be Good was like the newest album, right?
Yeah, it is. I love that album.
All right, I think we have Wild Bill calling in again. Let's take you now to New York Comic Con.
All right, it is me again, interrupting game time once again. Still here over at New York Comic Con, and I just want to show off a little bit more of what's going on the show floor. So let's go take a walk. And you can see how huge and massive this all is. And down the aisles here a little bit, just kind of check what's going on. You probably can't hear a word I'm saying over the noise, but that's all right. Got cosplayers everywhere. And it just goes on and on and on. There are something like 45 aisles just filled with vendors. Just so much stuff, I don't even know where to begin. There you go. Just wanted to give you a little bit more of a taste of how huge this is. The show floor going on here. And there you go. That's it for now. Back to game time.
All right, Bill, we appreciate it. We're going to check in with him a little later. Did you guys get to see the trailer for the new Super Mario movie that's coming out? Did you watch the Direct today?
I did.
I've seen it. I didn't see today's, but I've seen it.
Okay. So since Glenn didn't see it...
Wait, the trailer just came out today.
Oh, the trailer was out today. I'm going to play the trailer. If nobody got to see the trailer...
It was out yesterday for some reason.
Let's check out the trailer. Check it out right here.
What was on the trailer?
Open the gates!
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield?
I do not. I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come!
Hey everyone, it's me again. I just got finished watching the teaser trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie that's going to be coming out April 7th, 2023. It is actually available online right now, so if you have not had a chance to see it, you can probably head over to Nintendo's YouTube channel or various other channels. They will be showing it online. But we had a really cool treat here at New York Comic Con. Jack Black, the voice of Bowser, crashed the party and he did a Q&A. Didn't really tell us much about the movie, but it was really kind of cool just to see him here and you know, get to hear a little bit of his Bowser voice live. So that was really cool. And everybody who was at the panel got this really cool t-shirt. Let me see if I can show it off to you. Alright, so check this out. You got, it's kind of hard to see, you got Bowser's claw coming through on one side. And you got the Super Mario Brothers movie. Oop, hang on. There we go. The Super Mario Brothers movie on the other side. This is a New York Comic Con exclusive. Could only get it here at the panel. So that was pretty cool being able to get that. And just wanted to share that with you guys. So that was just one more thing from New York Comic Con. Again, hope you guys are enjoying game time. And I will see you next week.
Thanks, Bill. We wanted to tune into that because what'd you guys think of the trailer, Jade?
Hey, did you guys notice how flat Mario's butt was? Why was it like that?
I wasn't watching his butt. Glenn was.
I think it's the absence of carbs. I think he's on a diet.
He's eating too many mushrooms.
Yeah, that's right. He's I can't talk. He stole my mushroom. Where did it go?
I gotta say though, I'm really jealous of Bill. That shirt is pretty awesome. Like yeah,
that shirt.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but then it after a couple washes, it's toast.
Who washes them? You don't wash them.
Is that something else that you do? You put them in a bag too, and you don't wash them?
No, it's like Idiocracy. You just go up to the wall and you grab a new one.
Yeah, that's probably what he does.
Yep.
Did you see this?
Yes. In fact, you were going to start talking about that here right after this.
Arcade 1-Up. News and notes.
Okay, while Jade gets set up, today was the official release. A lot of these guys that pre-ordered the first wave of the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, this is what you've all been waiting for, came out today. A lot of these guys, they were getting it, and I I accidentally resized my TriCaster window, but I got it back here. But what I wanted to show you guys here is some interesting things while Jayde's getting situated here. I found out some interesting things while looking online, because another wave of pre-orders went live today. And I don't know. Wait, how did that get there? What does it say?
Thank you for your purchase. Who did that?
Oh, that's the wrong picture. Yeah, so I pre-ordered today, and I got it right from Arcade 1UP, because I'd never pre-ordered. Never, ever. So this is how much a fail this is, okay? I pre-ordered from Arcade 1UP after Jayde. How many times did I have it in my cart? 18 times?
18, yeah.
Over the last couple of weeks. I finally did it, and I wanted to see what the experience was going to be like. I pre-ordered it. I'm not getting it until December. Kongs told me, Kongs or Us, I don't know if he's still here. He messages me right before the show. He's like, hey, I'm going to send some people over. I'm going to do a quick show. And I'm like, oh, awesome, man. He goes, by the way, Walmart has them right now. You can pre-order, and you'll have it here by next week. I'm like, what? And I'm like,
it's the way to go.
I'm like, I just bought it from the company. He's like, yeah, dude. He's
How
like,
many times are they going to tell you not to do that? How many times?
So to further see this, if you're not in the Arcade 1UP community, there are actual people that were in Wave 1, not me, just Wave 2. I know I broke my own rule, Paul. I'm sorry. There's people saying in Wave 1, and you guys can see this in the official Arcade 1UP group, that theirs is delayed even more, and they were in Wave 1. So I don't know what the deal is with that. And here's another one. Let me see if I can zoom this back out. I apologize on that one. This one is actually, again, from your group, Glenn, and the same scenario. And here's where I'm getting the December date. So this was another one that went up. Shop Hippo went up today, right? Did you guys see the Shop Hippo went up? And if you look at the print there, it says deliveries may or may not be here before the end of the year. It says mid to late December with Shop Hippo. So I'm assuming, I could be wrong with Arcade 1UP, but I wanted to see what the experience is. I don't need to have it next week. I don't need to have it.
That's good.
Because I'm not getting it for that. But I'm being funny. But I really wanted to see, because we always talk about, Glenn, you made a point. We talk about all the time, like, don't buy it from Arcade 1UP because this is what happens. And I did.
There's two parts. One, generally you wait. You just saw what happened here again. You can get it at Walmart sooner. But the other part is, if there is a problem with the unit, you can't go back to the store. You have to wait for Arcade 1UP to have the part. Sometimes they have them. A lot of times they don't. And
or you make a video about you destroying it, like other people do on here.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Pre-order is if they're really not going to order. Like, there was a couple times they only had it from them. They weren't going to offer it to any other stores. So if it's something along those lines, then yeah, it's valid to buy from Arcade 1UP direct. Outside of that, you're better off going to a retailer.
They allegedly had 950 units available today. That sold out in an hour and a half.
That's what I was showing on. Let me go back to that shot. I don't know if people saw that. I don't know where this guy got the numbers, and I wanted to put his name up there because I don't know. I don't know if there's any validity. But if you look in Glenn's group, this gentleman here.
What Travis just said.
I didn't. Let me pull Travis up real quick. So I don't know if there's truth to that, but I want to talk about that real quick as Jayde's going to get into some of this. I think they created a fake. I don't want to call it FOMO, but I guess it is technically FOMO, where it was smart marketing. They did what Apple did. They created a demand for a product by saying there's not going to be a lot, and they held back pre-orders, which I said from day one that was going to happen. And you guys can go back and see that, which is smart marketing. Now, it's not good for the faithful that are in here, the diehards, because they're like, I didn't get mine, you know. Travis MCP says, Steven, it said on A1UP's page that it was the second wave and it wouldn't be shipped till December. Right, that's what I'm saying. I saw it on there. But my point with that is, Travis, Walmart also has a second wave. Best Buy also has a second wave. And how are they shipping it sooner than Arcade 1UP? Like I said, I don't care. I'm not Jayde knows I'm not super nostalgic for this game. It's just another game that I can put in the arcade that I'm building, so I'm okay with it. But that's just my question. Like, how does a company, you're buying directly from the company? That would be like buying it from Apple, but Best Buy is shipping it sooner, or Walmart is shipping it sooner. Like, how does that just doesn't make sense to me? Now, I could be wrong. Usually, you go to
Looks
the
like
company.
you should have put it in your bin a 16th time.
No, a 20th time probably.
69. Sorry.
60.
I corrupted him so quick.
Yeah, it was quick.
All right, Jayde. So you got this up. What do we got? Here, I'm going to pull your lower third off. What do we got so far on this? How's it working so far?
Okay, so basically,
Since you've been playing the whole show,
I got this right before. I mean, I got this pretty much like an hour and a half before the show was going to start. So I got it built really quick. And basically, I was able to get online, no problem. Did the update that was available for it. And so let me just get a little bit of volume here. So it updated, and then I went ahead and went online and set my stuff up. And so we'll go through here and we'll see, everything else. So obviously, we don't have any online with Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It says our online lobbies will be open soon. And also, please keep in mind that I haven't watched any other videos on this because I really wanted to, have my own feeling and opinion about it. So
wait. Let's say the disclaimer. You did purchase this.
Yes, I pre-ordered this from Walmart. Okay, real quick. I started with Target when everybody was
that's what I wanted you to say.
Target. Yeah, that was where it started, and then I canceled that pre-order, and then Travis convinced me to pre-order because Best Buy had an opening, so I did that. And then when Walmart came out with their pre-orders, I was like, okay, I'm going to pre-order from Walmart because they always ship first and usually early. And so I did that, and then I asked around if anybody wanted my extra pre-order. Nobody did, so I canceled my Best Buy order.
What did you have for lunch that day?
Well, I think I had a grilled cheese with pickles and a little bit of Thousand Island sauce on it.
So wait a second. So Travis talked you into going to another area to buy it, like you talked me into buying it.
I did not talk you into anything.
Yeah, you're like.
I never even said. I said, Steven,
if you don't buy it, you're going to regret it. You know you're going to regret it.
I said, don't buy this cabinet.
Yeah, because you knew I was gonna. Yeah, you knew I was going to. If you would have told me, if you would have been like, "Nah, don't get this," you knew I was gonna buy it.
Okay, so here we go. Moving to the online play for Marvel vs. Capcom, we got leaderboards.
So online does work for some of the games. Is that what we're seeing?
Online, yes, we're seeing that online works for Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, and X-Men Children of the Atom. Now for the Mutant Apocalypse and War of the Gems, there's nothing. I don't think that they ever had online play for those, so it is what it is. But so it's up and running for all the games except for Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
So real quick, Bo wants to know how's the gameplay / emulation.
Well, we're going to get into that because I'm going to find out with you guys kind of, and tomorrow morning, and I don't mean to be plugging my thing right now, but
throw it out there.
Tomorrow morning, at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be running a live basically and going over the whole cab, talking about my experience so far and what I've seen or what I've noticed and how that experience, relates back to a lot of the questions that people have had. So if you show up for that and you have questions, I will be able to answer as many questions as I have time for. But anyways, yeah, so if you haven't checked that out, set the notification for that if you're interested, and we'll do that tomorrow morning. But we are going to get into some gameplay just so that you guys can see how it's running. and I'm very curious about it. We'll start with Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and then we'll look at some of the older ones just to see how they're looking and how they're running. And I will say that from the gameplay that I've seen so far, that it actually looks really good. I haven't really had enough time to really, what's the word I'm looking for here? Scrutinize it.
Dive in. Aw. I was hoping we could do a jinx. You ruined everything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I'm the worst co-host ever.
No, I was just kidding. Everything's falling apart. No.
Oh God, it's like Inception. Okay. So here's we'll go through the intro.
It looks like it's moving pretty quick, like the Dreamcast.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. That's probably a pretty good basis for comparison, considering that pretty much came from the arcade. So I'm gonna. I will say this: the speakers actually sound pretty good on this. I was actually surprised by that because the Shinku cab, they sounded like dog crap. So.
So do you think this is actually stereo and it's not like a generic mono that they did before?
No, they're definitely like improved. They're decent. I mean, like I don't feel like I would want to really maybe add a subwoofer, but like there is a bassy sound to it, and if you turn them up really loud, like it still sounds very clear. It's not rumbly or anything.
Okay, so it's not like the driving cab or T2 where they took a mono signal, split it to give you a fake stereo.
Right. No. Okay, so here we go. Let's see.
Marquee looks good too, from what I can see.
Yeah, marquee. I feel like the light is a little bit dim, but I actually like it because you don't feel like it's like shining in your face, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Okay, I'm gonna
super bright ones.
I'm gonna throw this up here too while you're doing this. Bo Knows says, "What about the sound? Most emulation of MVC2 has horrible audio."
Yeah, I mean, so far I haven't noticed it, so you guys are right here with me. I'll turn it up a little bit.
Frank D, I'll read the comments because I don't want to pull them up on screen while she's playing. He says, "I hope they get the online play up and running up and running soon." I think that's what he said. It jumped.
Sorry, I'm like sideways here, so I'm kind of coping with the...
Yeah. Pressure's on. Let's see a whooper.
Looks like the frame rate's pretty good. It's not. I don't see any drop frames anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. Let's see. Let me like a super so I can really...
And let me preface this. She's using an iPhone, too, so the way she's capturing it in OBS, it is freezing from time to time, I do see.
This is my laptop, actually.
Oh, this one's the laptop? Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
But still, I can see the video freeze, not the game.
Yeah,
like
the whole video is freezing. Yeah, it's not the game.
Her little motion background in the corner, you can tell when it freezes as well.
I just want to preface that we're really rigged up here.
I mean, I'm going to say, like, just right now, yeah, I'm going to say that it feels very smooth to me. It feels very fluid.
Were they claiming 60 frames a second in this? Do we know?
Well, that would be...
I can tell you what I just experienced in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. It's a 30 hertz capture device that I was using, and I was able to get 60 frames per second, no issue. So I think that they probably were able to make that work really well with this SoC chip. Because it's like, I mean, I know this chipset isn't the greatest that they use in these cabs, but it's the better one, right? Isn't this the newer one?
Yeah, this is the arcade.
The one that's close to like a Dreamcast. Yeah. Yep.
Well, I mean, it's the same chipset that the iArcade is using, basically.
So
I know there's like two variants. I think there's an A50 something and A70 something. So
the biggest issue you had before, though, with the Yoga Flame and the Big Blue was a delay from when you hit the button to when it did a punch or kick. Are you experiencing that on this?
It does not, to me, it doesn't feel like it at the moment. And I mean, keep in mind, this is my first time playing, but it feels very responsive and quick to me.
Okay.
I really.
Zero Hero wanted to know how the joystick itself feels.
Yeah.
So these are like the Sanwa clones. So they're basically the same thing that's in the Yoga Flame, MK30, and what's Shinku. But
what do you think they're using for a spring then? Is it a heavier spring?
Hold on, I wanna listen to it.
Okay.
They're actually like, they're not obnoxiously loud. They're really, it's soft and they feel nice. They actually feel a little bit better than the MK30 ones. It's a little bit softer. So.
And Moat says it's 960p at 60 frames per second.
Okay,
nice.
Thanks, Mo.
So for my experience playing right now was, I mean, I didn't have any sound issues. I didn't feel like there was any like severe drops or response issues as far as like the input goes. But I'm also like at an oblique, so I mean, I'm gonna play a lot more tonight and tomorrow morning to get more of a feel for it. But to me, it felt really fluid.
Probably a 2-pound spring.
Yeah,
Wolf says.
I mean, I'll say something though. Sometimes it's good to play these things for a little bit over an hour to get that chip set heated up to see how it starts behaving. Because I've seen.
Well, it's been on since we started the show.
Yeah,
since before
which is
we
great.
Started the show, so.
If I leave my Tron on for a long time, I notice it kind of needs a restart every once in a while to do its best.
Ozzy wants to know how did the controls compare to Killer Instinct?
I mean, in my opinion, they're better than what Killer Instinct came with.
And Soggy Kid wants to know, can you change the button mapping?
Well, let's take a look. Nope. I don't see anything. Why would you use scan lines, for God's sakes, man?
Moat says the spring is the same on the Yoga Flame Shinku Hadouken as this cabinet. That's what he says. So.
Okay, I mean that would make sense because those ones. So the MK30, like those joysticks, were definitely nicer than anything before. But the Shinku, that's what it feels like. It's like what's in the Shinku. So I would agree with what he's saying. And then in your options for this particular game for MVC2, you have bass boost. And I will say that, again, these speakers are actually pretty decent and it does sound bassy and not distorted. You have difficulty, damage level, timer speed, game speed. Usually I do that. And then scan lines, which on this game, I would not use scan lines at all. But on these ones, however, I would use scan lines. But I'm very curious to see how scan lines looks on this.
I'm really impressed because other arcade one-ups I've done, pointing a camera at it. Now, granted, I know your room's a little bit on the darker side, but it's still crisp enough that we can see it. So that's a BOE monitor, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, BOE monitor. So let's do an online and see Danger Room 1. Okay, let's just see. We'll be daring and make our own room here. Oh, look here's somebody who's probably going to kick my butt because.
Do we know this for a fact too? Biggie's Arcade says Blitz is more graphically intensive than MVC2.
Well, in Blitz, you're pulling a lot of polygons, so...
But Blitz also doesn't have as strong of a chip. I know that was mentioned. Oh, my God.
I would agree with the Glenn. I don't truly know, but yeah, it's a totally different type of way to render the actual gameplay, so it would be wholeheartedly different. And I can guarantee you that Blitz would not run as well as MVC does on the Steam Deck if there was modern versions of it. So, falling under that same...
Sorry, I didn't.
No, you're fine. No, go ahead.
But the scan lines on here look really good. Like the screen is not stretched or distorted at all, and they're tight scan lines. So. And I'm definitely impressed with that.
So Bono's Tecmo says, I like the scan lines on that Street Fighter Partycade. They did it good on that. You don't have any Partycades, do you?
No.
Okay. How would you compare the scan lines though on this?
These are the best scan lines I've seen aside from the ones that are on MK30. This looks better than the Shinku for sure because the Shinku had a little bit of screen stretch. The scan lines looked good, but this person's not here.
My buddy Mr. Rightway just showed up. He said, I just got here. So do y'all have any issues with it? Well, Jade's the only one that's got the cabinet. Mine's still not here yet.
The only issue is if you pre-order from Arcade, you won't be getting it.
All right, rub it in some more, Glenn. Just keep rubbing the salt in the wound.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I was lagging out and that person wasn't playing. So
Yeah, you got to find somebody that you can actually play online because I'm really curious to see if you notice any slowdown. And I'm assuming your Wi-Fi. You're not using the USB to Ethernet dongle that I do in NBA Jam.
The dongle.
Yeah, you could take a USB-C and plug it into the back PCB board if you guys didn't know this.
Yeah,
and get the Ethernet.
dongle.
Yeah, and then you run an Ethernet cable. That's how I do NBA Jam, so I don't get lag.
The dongle.
The dongle. I put a Glenn dongle right there.
Yeah, I mean these are like problem. The visuals are really good. It looks really, really clean. Feels very responsive.
All right, now everybody's going after me on the dongle. Mike of All Trades says it does have Ethernet. Okay, so it does have Ethernet built in. That's a good plus.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
It has an actual Ethernet outlet on the piece on the back of the monitor.
Kong says,
on the PCB.
So sad. I can't keep my login and record from my current MVC1 cab with MVC2. Oh, so that's good. That's a bummer. People aren't going to be able to do that.
Wait, how is that possible if the leaderboards are already so filled up?
Well, why can't you just transfer your name to it if you have MVC1 to MVC2?
If you're using the same email address, shouldn't you be able to?
So I actually think that there's probably a different device ID for this cabinet, which separates it from the other cabinet. Even though you have the same email address, it would save it under a new thing. Like, I know device IDs are a thing with a lot of hardware and software-based components. So,
what games are on the cab, Jade? Can you run through them real quick? We have a question from Glass Babies in the chat room.
Yeah, I mean, look at these. Look at this. There's no way that these people just got this cab and have 3,847 wins.
Well, I don't think that you're actually watching the person. I don't think they're on this cabinet. I think they're on the Exactly.
Yeah, they're okay. All right. Anyways, okay. So we have MVC2. We have MVC1. Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men Coda, Mutant Apocalypse, and War of the Gems. And all of these ones are playable online. So X-Men, Marvel, blah, whatever. So Marvel versus Capcom 2 is not. I did reach out to John and ask him, is there a day one update? And if there is, when is it going to be available? And his answer to me was that currently there was an update when I started the cab up, but there's no day one update right now. He said that they're shooting for in the coming week. But he said generally like they're shooting for that timeline.
What is, because I know this question is going to come, what is day one? Because that's been a big, huge confusion here in the community where I believe if you have it, day one is already here. That's the way I believe.
Right. But it wasn't in relation to like having it on day one. I was just like, is there going to be like, if a day one update to me is like a major patch that is like a bug fix and does other things. So he basically said that they're shooting for the coming week, but he also had to talk to marketing. So this is like an unofficial answer. You know what I mean? So that was the best answer that I got. as far as when the next big update is coming. Whether or not there's online play in it or anything like that, I didn't even ask, because I'm like, who knows? And I don't want to start spreading like rumors that might not be true. But that's what I know right now, is that there will be a bigger update in the next, hopefully, week and a half.
I'm going to see if I can get Moat to jump on. I sent him the link to join. I see him here in the chat. That way he's not having to slam the keyboard there, and he can answer some of these questions with you as you're going through this. I told him to check. Moat, if you're listening, check your Twitter DM, and you can get the link to jump on here, and I'll watch it. But while we're watching Jayde get whooped when she's playing online here. Well, you got to be better than Glenn. I've played fighting games with Glenn online, and that's, I don't know.
Yep,
yeah,
I agree. I'm pretty bad at it.
These scan lines, like seriously, like the image quality on the older games with the scan lines looks really good. Like I'm impressed, and the colors really pop on this monitor.
Yeah, it looks pretty good on your camera. I know it's not the best camera, and I'm taking that into consideration. So, it looks great.
Did you say my camera is garbage?
It's an Apple device, right?
That means it's good.
No, it does not mean it's good, in my opinion, but that's okay.
Uh-oh, Apple Android Wars. Here we go.
No, I think Apple makes a great consumer-based device that lasts a long time and has lots of years of support, and it's a good product for that. But while you're beating this person's butt, because that's what you're going to do, right? I'll say that I don't think Apple makes the very good cameras built into their laptops.
No, I agree.
Oh, and their laptops.
Yeah, because you said you were using your laptop, and I didn't know if you just had
I'm going to be
webcam
honest,
pointed at it.
Their phone cameras are really nice now, but I always thought that Android was always just a little bit ahead of them in the camera department. And now it's getting harder to delineate, but I mean, still, it's there are certain things where I'm like, man, their night imaging is not as good as Android. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And I do own a Galaxy S10 Plus.
So Kongs wants to know, he's asking you, he says, hey, Jayde, how's input lag feel on MVC2?
Yeah, so I kind of hit that earlier, and
we'll hit it again.
My experience was that I'm going to hit you, Steven. My experience was that it was, and I'm just kidding, love you, Steven. It was good. It felt very smooth for the most part to me. But again, I really I feel like I need a lot more time on this to get a better idea. But I will say that right up front, it does feel very good to me. It feels very fluent. The UI also feels very fluent, which I know that's a random thing to say, but I think it has to do with the processing or the CPU. So sorry, I'm not really paying attention to the game because I'm talking.
The actual stages with moving backgrounds seem to be pretty darn smooth from what I was just watching in that previous match. Not the one where the water was on, but the one with moving background.
Yeah.
It was doing pretty good, it looked like.
Generally speaking, I feel like it's just running very smoothly.
Can anybody confirm, isn't this the very first Marvel vs. Capcom to have 3D moving backgrounds and stuff? Because I don't think the other one did. I think it was all stagnant. I don't know, though. That might not be true.
3D moving.
Somebody will correct me.
Why is there no free select on this? Timer speed. Okay, I'm just gonna go in here because I want to see how this looks.
Now, did you have Marvel vs. Capcom 1 from Arcade 1-Up?
I did, but I sold it.
Okay, so granted it's probably a while ago, but has it been a vast improvement from the original, or do you think they're kind of very equally the same?
What
I'm just let's talk about like the monitor. Let's talk about controls. Do you think it's a huge upgrade? Because I've seen people arguing about this in Glenn's group. Like,
oh yeah,
it's the same game. You guys are just getting it on a different cabinet with different graphics.
No. I mean, like, to me, it feels like a big upgrade. I don't even think they had scan lines as an option on the original NBC cabinet. And the fact that you get all of the games on the Versus roster along with it, and I mean, it just looks gorgeous. The picture and the scan lines, it just looks really good, and it feels really smooth. The joysticks are definitely an improvement, no matter how you look at it. I mean, I'm going to be honest, if you swap out with Sanwa's, you're not going to be like, oh my god, this is so much better. I honestly, I'm going to be honest, I have Sanwa's in my Big Blue, and I kind of like these sticks a little bit better. I know I'm going to get
Kong's in the chat room. He says, I think unless you play this super competitively, you won't notice too much input lag or delay. People doing infinite combos, etc. Timing might be a little off, might impact high-level gameplay. And Bo says all of these games will have noticeable input lag. The monitor used is laggy, so it's flawed from the get-go. I agree. It doesn't have like a high latency like some of these, like my gaming monitor has. So but I would agree.
Wait
with
a second, though. Wait a second. This game came out so long ago. There was no such thing as anything above 60 hertz. So
that's a good point. That is a good point.
Technology doesn't exist, so that argument's nullified. Sorry.
But look, think about this. First of all, you've got two different ways to look at this. One is that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was one of the first games in this series that was playable on two different forms of monitors. You had interlaced and non-interlaced, and depending on which monitor you're playing on, that's what your image was going to look like. And so obviously, God, which one was better? I think, was it non-interlaced that was like sharper if you were using, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah, so I can talk about that real quick. Interlace is just there's an A field and a B field that combines to make one image, and the way it scans those images is you only see half of the image in 1 millisecond.
It's like doing this versus this.
Exactly. Yep, and one's a whole full progressive image, and the reason the one looks sharper is because it's the whole image all at once, not lines. And sometimes if the sync is off, you can get tearing in the video and stuff like that. So
Jade, does this have
no tearing?
Oh, sorry. I'm fielding questions, and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Does this have the cab extensions like Terminator 2 does and how Tron does, where it makes the cabinet bigger before you stick it on the riser?
It does. They're about I think they're about 3 or 4 inches.
So they're flood proof, Glenn. Sorry,
but I'm gonna say there hasn't been. I haven't seen any screen tearing on MVC2. I haven't noticed any sound popping or any like glitches so far. I haven't noticed anything on any of these games that looks like. I mean, they all seem to be playing correctly most part. Now, if there's like input lag on this, I don't think it's going to have much to do with the monitor because they've got to be running the interlaced image on here.
So Bo followed up
would have to be
your conversation here, and he says, I'm not talking about 60 hertz. He says, I'm talking about LCD screen having lag, aka response time.
No, yeah, but I'm not going to argue with somebody on the internet about something that I actually know about. So you can just disagree with me. That's fine.
So
I'm trying to my job.
No. I'm just trying to.
Not believe me. I don't care.
No. I'm just trying to think about like what he's, because you're right. Because even though you're using a high definition monitor.
Yeah, well, it's locked in. It's in the software.
Locked,
it does. Right. It's not going to deviate. It's not like I'm going to run at 20 hertz.
Unless the code is wrong and there's like Street Fighter Big Blue where they fixed it with software.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying when the game was created, like it was created in an interlaced world that was being broadcast out to a CRT monitor. And this is where Retro Ralph actually knows more because I know about like TV and film-based things,
right?
Where the CRT monitors there's like a vertical refresh rate that's like 35 hertz and stuff, and it's different than like a standard hertz that a TV would broadcast at,
right?
Because it's kind of being displayed differently, and that stuff I don't know about. But the TV and just like how interlace works and how progressive images work and how you can get a progressive image from like your interlace, you can, like, I do it all the time. It's called de-interlacing. It's just done in software. You just
personally, I think the delay would come from the encoder boards. Glenn, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but like if the encoder boards are kind of trash, because you can buy zero latency.
They probably rescanned all of these, and this is being displayed as progressive now. There is no interlacing going on here, I bet. This is all.
But I'm talking about like by the time you press the punch button, from the time wouldn't that hinge, Glenn, on the USB encoder?
Look, I'm gonna tell you this right now. Like if there is input lag, it's so minimal that, I mean, like, I don't even know how you could like really argue that.
So you're just talking about refresh rate of like the milliseconds. Like, I got a 1440p monitor and it has like 144 hertz, and like that's, or then it's 1 millisecond like refresh rate to like transfer that information back and forth. Where these older TVs and CRTs had nothing. They didn't know anything about that nonsense.
Piskin's Run, he wants to know, why can't they fix the sound for Big Blue? And I think it's because of the way they wired up the headphone jack and the speakers. They wired it up incorrectly at the factory. They took a mono signal, they split it to give you left and right, but it's dual channel mono, it's not stereo, and that's why they sound like trash. I don't know that for certain, but that's just based on looking at it within the cabling.
Oh my god, I can't do this.
So I don't know if it's fixable via software. I could be completely wrong, but that's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, audio can get wonky too, just from not having the correct amount of power.
So
being put through it.
I also saw today when these went up online with Arcade One Up for everybody watching. I was timing it from the time it went live for pre-orders till the time it officially sold out. It was an hour and a half, and I know everybody was chasing their tails the first day, and I get that. All the diehards, they wanted it. But it was up, and I think it's still up on Walmart. I don't know if Kongs is still here, if he can confirm that, but it was up for a good 20 minutes to a half an hour when Kongs told me. So I don't know if it's still up on pre-order. The speakers are junk. Yeah, so try to rewire it, Piskin's Run. I would try to do that.
But I mean, let me turn this up just a little bit so you guys can hear.
Go ahead.
I don't know how good it's gonna sound, but
listen to those jams.
I mean, I can feel the bass in the control panel. Like if I put my hands on it, I can feel it booming. And this is at 9, so that's not even all the way up.
Nice.
So it is sold out on Walmart.
Yeah. See, I don't think that this was like, I mean, there was FOMO for it, but I don't think that it was like a joke. Like, I mean, these things are in demand. Like, they're going away.
I think that they had 1,500 to work with. And when they first put it out, I think they had 50 for their website that they did. And they gave other ones all split it up amongst them just so they could stage the rollout because they wanted to create demand. Because think about it. If you put all your pre-orders out, content creators and other people aren't going to talk about it anymore. It's all out. Everybody got what they wanted. And Arcade went up smart by doing this. I hate, as much as we all hate to say that, because if you didn't get your cabinet till now, the second wave, it's smart marketing.
I mean, theoretically, that could be true, but you also have to think like...
Oh, I know it's true. John said it.
But yeah. Yes, but think about how they also got like the hardware in. Like they had 1,500 in, and then like later, weeks later, they had more stock come in. So I don't know what the process is, of it going through customs and then getting like cleared to like actually go to the stores and whatnot. But I mean, there's probably also that aspect of it as well, and then there's also the aspect of these companies like Walmart and Best Buy going like, well, we don't want to get screwed, so maybe they're only opening up pre-orders and allowing like certain amounts at a time, kind of like batching it to make sure that they're like meeting a demand.
That's probably true. I want to say something about, like, let's take it the whole ways back to the factory and like the current shape of these cabs, because now they have the ability to like make a bunch of different cabs that all use the same shape. So the machinings and the toolings at the factory can pump these things out a lot quicker probably than they used to be able to when all the cabs were uniquely designed. So we might see a lot more of these, just they might not be as many because the chip shortage is still happening. Like, don't let anybody tell you anywhere. That's still happening too.
So Bo follows this up. He says the bottom line: most people are not going to notice issues that it doesn't have obvious flaws that Shelion would notice. Then at least that's a good sign. So he's basically saying if you're not noticing any flaws, that's a good sign. That means most people aren't going to notice it because you are a hardcore player when it comes to these fighting games, where Glenn and I would just sit down and be casual, or Dan, we're just going to be casual, so it'll be perfect for us.
In my opinion, right now, and from my experiences in the past and everything, and I mean, I have this on Dreamcast, and I used to play it religiously. But in my opinion, it's running really nicely. What it's going to be like online, it's going to be a totally different story because I have no idea. But as far as like these, single player or head-to-head mode, I mean, it feels like it's running really smooth. I don't feel any obvious input lag. I haven't seen any input drops or screen freezes. And this has been running since a little bit before the show started. So it's been running. We've gone through different games, and all games that are from the Gen 3 MVC that are on here, and X-Men vs. Street Fighter, they all look beautiful with the scan lines, and the input on there feels good to me. I mean, I'm gonna follow up. I'm gonna be playing this tonight, and I'm gonna be playing it tomorrow morning as well. And I feel like I'll really be able to give a little bit of a better opinion about it. I mean, I feel like this cab is such a big deal to a lot of people that, I don't even want to do a review on it. I just want to talk about what my experience is like with it and answer questions for people because,
so
for various reasons.
Real quick, Dan, while she's on that, to dovetail her, tomorrow morning, guys, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern, if you go to youtube.com/Shelion Gaming and you go subscribe, make sure you subscribe because she also has it set up that you have to be subscribed to chat. She is going to go into detail with this because, again, we don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, this is great. She's got to put some time in and maybe actually be able to play with somebody online to see how if there is any input lag. Go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're okay. I was just going to say maybe when we were talking earlier about like the latency and stuff, maybe I was misunderstanding their question, because if they're just talking about like latency, I hit the button and then how long does it take for that button to transfer to the screen? That actually has nothing to do with that refresh rate. That actually is just an electrical signal traveling to the board and how quick can it process that. So I have no idea. You would have to test that. Like they make fancy equipment that does stuff like that costs lots of money.
I should really talk to Ralph about this because he has MVC2 on his Big Blue, and we should like do a comparison or something because I would be curious to see what it is.
Do you happen to have a 4K camera of some sort?
Yeah, of course.
The reason why I was saying that, because does your 4K camera do 120 frames? Do you know?
That I know it does 60, but I don't know.
Mine does 120. My camcorder, but the reason
does it, Steven? Does it, Mr. Cameraman?
I was saying that to be funny, but no, it does have it, because that would be something to do a slow motion test where you're pressing the button at a high frame rate to see exactly when it's
right.
responding.
I mean, and you could I think you could pull it off like accurately enough to get like a good enough.
Yeah, you just need a measuring stick, and you could make the measuring stick by using one camera in slow motion, and then on your machine use the same exact type of camera and use those same settings, and then record the same scene.
Right,
and it would tell you.
And Mike says,
but you just need a measuring stick to start off.
Mike says Ralph wouldn't be able to compare it unless he has the cabinet.
Yeah.
No, but he would send his footage to me or vice versa, because
Yeah, just be careful if you
Well,
transcode it or flip the.
I was just
media
gonna say
to a
you
different
have to
frame.
record the same exact.
Bo says emulation always has lag unless they optimize it, and to
100%.
kind of go into that. John did say, and because I asked him on somebody's live stream about what emulator they're using, and they're using Flycast Dojo, but it is a it isn't they actually like optimized with Flycast devs this version of Flycast Dojo. So it's
cool.
definitely it's definitely like a seriously developed, optimized version of Flycast Dojo. It's not just
Jayde,
like the standard.
you need to go into MVC1 because Kong said he can play you because he has MVC1 and he can play you online. So I told him to fire it up.
Okay. Cool. I have I'm having lag though from where this thing is.
Yeah, so I noticed that with your video to me, and I think the chat room has seen it. So tomorrow when you do your live stream, if you can hardwire that, I would.
Yeah.
Hardwire your actual cabinet if it's possible.
I'm not gonna be able to, but if I put it, I know where to put it where I get a good signal.
Okay.
I can do that.
Just for your stream to make sure that you're again, guys, we're not gonna get into super depth tonight. That she's gonna go into that tomorrow because we're gonna have to wrap up very soon. But I would be curious to see Kong's, just to see your response playing him, knowing and see what his response is on the other side.
Okay.
But if you're going to do a comparison between machines, and Endless, Dan will tell you the same thing. You really should use the same camera, the same frame rate, the same encoding,
right. Well, that's why
compression.
I'm saying I'm going to talk to him. But I would do like I would film the screen, and we'd both have our, like if we used our phone cameras. I mean, I don't know what kind of a phone he has. I have to talk to him. But I mean, if it's possible, then I'll do it that way because he actually has the cab. So
no, I'm not denying it. I'm just saying that because every sensor is different in a camera.
The password is 1111.
Kong's the password is 4 1s.
But
he said 3 minutes.
My overall feel of the feel of this cab is it feels nice. This out of the box, I feel like they did a nice job with it. All of the aesthetic complaints that people have aside, I feel like they did a really nice job with it. I actually like the artwork. I think it looks cool. I was unsure about it at first, but I think it looks really good. I like that the marquee isn't super bright. Because that is a thing that has been a thing in the past where you're like playing and you know how they're shorter and it's kind of like shining in your face.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the dimness of the marquee, but it's the picture looks clear. It's actually looking at it now, it actually is a little bit fuzzy. I think the image on the marquee could be sharper. I'm not going to lie.
Big Reese actually said that. And Moat said Ralph also sold the cab to Nick Madsen last time I checked.
Oh man, Ralph.
Okay, well.
Let me look at the side. I want to look at the image on the side.
Yeah, some people were saying that the image on the side and in the marquee was a little fuzzy, but wasn't it like that on the again? I didn't play this in the arcade, but
there was no side art on the arcade.
Okay, but what about the marquee? Wasn't that a little on the fuzzy side? I think a lot of these cabinets were fuzzy.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, but I feel like I think just looking at it, to me, it could be a little bit sharper.
Okay. Is it a deal breaker?
It's not a deal breaker for me.
Okay.
I think that the side art actually looks good. It's a little bit I mean, you could say it's a little bit on the fuzzy side, but to be honest, it's like sketched out with a pen, like it's kind of the art style. So
okay.
And just to confirm, it's Zangief's butt that you're looking at. It's his left butt cheek, not his crotch. Okay, for everybody who's talking about that.
I was wondering what Glenn was looking at. Look, he's looking at Zangief's butt. Sorry.
I think that overall, though, my chief complaint would be, and another nice thing is there's not a lot of arcade one-up branding on this. It's only on the monitor right here, and then you have like the Capcom logo on the top. I wish that it was like the metal grate, And these two side pieces, they need to be like black or something, and then under here either metal gray or black. But it's not, none of it's a deal breaker for me. I think that overall, this cab, as someone who's a fan of this game and knowing that this is a licensed product that is, you know, coming from these companies and Arcade 1-Up, I think that they did a really nice job with it overall. And so far, the play experience on it has been smooth for me. So hopefully I'll be able to say, you know, tomorrow morning that it's continued to be smooth.
All right, Kongs is in, he says.
Yeah, I see that.
All right. So now we're going to, here's the moment of truth. And Kongs also says, my fault for the crotch shot.
I can't.
All right.
Okay.
She's getting in there, Kongs. All right. So let's see if, you know, the experience from either side, because Kongs is on a first gen Marvel vs. Capcom, and now Jayde's on the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm really curious, even though she's on Wi-Fi. That's how most of these people are going to play it. They're not crazy like me and running Ethernet cable.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I'm also like at an oblique here, so I'm probably going to get my ass.
No, but I think this is a good test because, you know, me personally, I could care less about the online. I already told you guys that, but I'm curious to see how it is, because that'll be a good telltale sign of how version 2 will be.
Oh my god.
Is he whooping on you?
No, I just can't, like, my joystick in the oblique is a little bit more difficult to... It's harder to get people up in the air when you're sitting like this.
because you're sideways.
Yeah.
Who's Spider-Man?
Me.
And okay.
No, Peter Parker's Spider-Man. You're such a liar.
Oh my god, jump.
Give me cookie.
So
that
again,
was for you, Ozzy.
So again, her video, because she's on Wi-Fi, her video to me is freezing every now and again. It's not the screen of the arcade. I want to emphasize that.
There is no freezing in the actual game.
She is on a Wi-Fi connection right now to me, and that does happen when we do live shows like this. You know, when they're just sitting here, they're usually on a hardwire connection. So I just want to throw that out there.
Did he stop playing? What is happening?
I don't know. I'm not seeing anything in the chat room, so I'm assuming he's still playing. Or did you just lay the smackdown on him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess, but it looked like he was just flopping around. So.
Sorry, if that was loud, I didn't mean to.
Okay, so Kong said, he says, I'm wired in. It was a good connection. So there you go. So Glenn, are you going to pre-order it?
No.
You're ordering too?
You know, although I have to admit, I mean, I'm impressed with the frame rate. I'm impressed with how well the emulation core is working on here. Very, very well done.
Yeah.
But I don't believe pre-ordering.
No, I know.
Let me ask you a question, Glenn. Can I don't know enough about how this would work. When they go and play online, is it essentially like just taking the video signal and like how is it like pushing that information out
really
via the Ethernet?
It's passing over the character codes for the controllers and stuff like that, and the button presses. The machine is handling everything on each separate machine. It's just transporting over the control function for each person. If it was doing the other thing, it'd be so much bandwidth. It would.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It would make the thing like catch on fire, possibly, because it'd be double like the processing. And I was like, I don't know how that actually works because I don't know about video game coding. I know about software coding. Oh, hi, Endless One Up Head.
I was like, what do you do with that?
I'm here.
We're going on
just in case I was picking my nose. I didn't want anybody to see it.
Yes, it's very important to know the nose is clean.
That's right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this up, guys. But
no. I mean, we're going on basically 2 hours of this thing being on and being played.
Okay.
And I mean, I haven't noticed any issues with it. Like, I mean, nothing has popped out at me at all. So just to throw that in there.
Okay. Well, I think we'll wrap it.
Monitor on there.
I think you'd have to pay extra for that.
Yeah.
It's looking very well. It doesn't look washed out, so I'm glad they didn't use the other monitor in these BOE.
Yeah,
it's a vast improvement.
Oh, there's no way they could have gotten away with that on this.
Okay. Well, it is getting late here. It's 10:40 Eastern. You guys, make sure you tune in. YouTube.com/Shelion Gaming tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time. She's going to go through that, and she'll answer all kinds of other questions. That way she can play it more, because you can't give you can just give a first impressions right now. It's not like a full review. It's not anything like that. But we just kind of wanted to see it on the stream here. But appreciate you, Jayde, slapping that thing together right before the show.
Hey, it's my expertise. Try and get it done in under an hour.
Appreciate that. Also, want to thank Mr. Endless One Up, Mr. Dan. You guys can go check him out. YouTube.com/Endless One Up.
That's right. Thanks for the plug.
And you guys, and he's doing a giveaway for his Steam Deck. So make sure.
Whoa.
What?
Whoa.
What?
What did you have to say, Glenn? Let's hear it.
No, that was Jayde saying whoa. We didn't get the Glenn yet.
No, Glenn.
I don't have voice scripts on myself. There's no voice scripts on myself today. It was not me.
Oh. Well, hey, go visit my channel and watch Steam Deck videos. I love you.
And also, Glenn, the Build-A-Cade. What's going on? Where are we at with it?
Yeah. Well, we're definitely shooting for November for shipping ours out. It might be a little bit earlier. Not quite sure yet, but November will definitely be the shipping time. Things have gone very well. I'm very happy with the machine and the software install. I have videos I just published on them. And I hope everyone enjoys them. I'm not going to be doing Kicking It Old School tomorrow night. I'll be working. I'm working this whole weekend, which will be so much fun. But I'll be back next week, hopefully. And got to pay someone's bills.
You got to pay for your toys. YouTube.com/GPlanmentor, and you guys can join all his official Facebook groups over there on Facebook.
And go buy yourself a Build-A-Cade.
Yes, and buy Build-A-Cade because you have that.
Actually, get two of them. Two of them.
He's got great. Yeah.
Maybe
what I was thinking about too? I was thinking about this too. The Raspberry Pi, when you buy like the little NES case or the Sega Genesis case or the SNES case, that's cost you $40, maybe $50. For $89, you get a case, but an arcade machine out of the deal as well. So yeah, get a Build-A-Cade.
Yeah.
So buy two of them.
By the way, if you guys have been in here and you've enjoyed this stream, please smash that like button, as they say.
Yeah.
Because it was fun for us. So if it was fun for you, please smash the like button.
Yeah, we want to continue
and
doing
if you
this.
hated it, smash the like button.
Yeah, if you hated it. If you like our banter and you like the little comment. Listen, I want to thank everybody that's on this panel. A lot of these guys are putting in some time doing some pre-recorded segments. We want to thank Bill being out there at the New York Comic-Con.
Yeah, thanks, Bill, for going without me, Bill. Thanks, Bill.
And Glenn's still sore because he didn't get the T-shirt. So, guys, we'll be back next Thursday for more Game Time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Again, thanks to Kongs or Us again for giving us the shout-out today. We really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe to him as well. You can subscribe here. Again, we're going to have a lot of fun next week. And hopefully these cabinets start rolling in. Let us know if you get your cabinet. Hit us up on Twitter.
Wait, are you still doing the giveaway?
I am doing a giveaway, but I'm not going to mention it anymore until I actually do the video because people are like, where do I put my comment? And where? So
okay.
I've been slacking. Listen, I got a ton of products over here that I purchased that are sitting here that I haven't even reviewed yet. I'm slacking. Yeah, I know. We'll get the fiddle out. I'm not even going to get to that. Guys, it's late. Have a good weekend. We'll see you guys next week for more of Game Time.